Hello everyone, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. Rachel here, the Modern Shaman. Thank you for being with me for another week. I am here to first announce that I will be doing live streams here on YouTube. I'm excited about that because my live streaming has been used on the Facebook platform. But I'm kind of navigating over here towards YouTube. There's just a little more accessibility to all of my viewers because not everyone's on Facebook anymore, and some kind of prefer Instagram. It's like everybody's kind of spread out all over the place, but this is a hub of so many of you guys. So I'm going to start doing some live streaming on here, which will just be an open Q&A dialogue. So if you're interested, stay tuned. I'll post the dates and kind of do a premiere so that it lets you know. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel and kind of put that little icon or click that little bell icon, which gives you notifications on your phone to let you know when I'm going to be live, I would suggest that you do that so that you have a heads up, because I'm excited about opening that up on this new venue. If you guys haven't already checked out my website, as you know, I always recommend that you do that just to stay connected. If you'd like a personal one-on-one session, that's always available, as well as furthering your learning if you would like to go in depth with your knowledge for my masterclass teaching curriculum, which covers both the sacred intuitive arts as well as spiritual entrepreneurship. So both of those programs are available on my website through the portal on there. And lots of ways to keep in touch. Again, that's themodernshaman.net. Okay, so last week I gave you guys the little tour of the office, right? And I warned you that that email that I was reading from, that the longtime viewer had sent in, he had a couple questions, like 3 or 4 questions that he wanted to ask. So that was one of them. This is part 2, which he went on to talk about non-dualistic teachings and kind of his development as a soul in this life. But his question is, here it is. Why is psychic development so important in regards to non-dualist teaching or seeking an awakening to the present moment? I probably didn't read that correct, but that's about kind of what I'm paraphrasing. So that's kind of what it comes down to. Okay. I want to be upfront and say psychic development may not be important to you. And that's okay. I think, in all honesty, it's part of what I was put on earth to do. It's part of my soul's purpose. And that has looked different through different avenues or cultures or facilities in which I have been teaching. But essentially, all of my life, I have been psychic. All of my life, I have been teaching. Whether it was as a bossy little kid telling somebody else what to do because I saw it in a vision and I was trying to forewarn them, or whether it was deep conversations in a coffee shop giving advice to a stranger, or whether it was in church seeing and claiming prophecy and putting my hands on others to heal them and physically transform something that I was seeing in a vision within their body, whether it was in a traditional teaching environment, in the inner city schools, or in private schools, and trying to teach essentially how to recognize the spirit within you. The core teaching of non-dualist, I guess the fundamental aspect of liberation, right, from the dualism is probably the same as what I'm teaching. It's just 2 different avenues, or to me, psychic development is the evolution of our human form and the integration of our spirit. To me, it's also a recognition of our spirit or divinity, or the consciousness and being that is beyond the physical. And I realize I'm talking in paradox there. So much of what happens when you begin to talk at these levels is that it sounds like paradox. It's not, if it's not split into dualism, right? If it's not split into two halves, or if things are not mutually exclusive, then they don't cancel one another out if they can stand in their entirety. Essentially, when I am teaching someone to recognize their own consciousness that lies within them. I mean, I was teaching this, honestly, even as a high school English teacher, when I would be asking questions about how do you know, like moral and ethics, and how do you know, even if I was taking a piece of literature and I would be breaking it apart and looking at the character analysis and analyzing, why did they do this? What was it within them that made, the vices and the virtues of a being? And how do we know how to listen to one that guides us this way and this way? It doesn't matter. You can take any topic. It can be psychic development, which is just point blank in your face, like this is what I'm teaching you. It can be from literature. It can be from art. It can be from science and quantum mechanics, from astrophysics. It can be through the physical form and body and breaking down molecules. It can be through space and the stars. It can be through communication with one other human being and relational dynamics. It doesn't matter. What's the point of all of it? Like, what does it all break down to, right? It's all essentially soul and the essence, whatever you want to call it. And don't get caught up in the semantics of even the way I'm saying it, even the way I'm teaching it. It's like you just find a cultural form to fit it into, and then you, from there, open up the soul. And you remind us of the awakening of what we are inside. And you help someone remember it. And from there, they're free. They're liberated. They are enlightened. They have total accessibility to all realms. They're never alone. It is a place of peace, and it's gonna make me cry. So the heart is still the same. My heart is the same. And I could teach it a million different ways, and I have in my life. Essentially, it's the essence of consciousness, of life. And from that place, when you have to come back into the body and into the form and go to a job and cook a meal for your family, that's the part that I feel like I was put on earth to do. How do we integrate this? Because it's one thing to sit in meditation all day, to listen to speakers all day, to sit in a cave, or to be in that space of contemplation. But right now, the evolution of humanity is in the integration of that, of bringing that holiness, that pattern of living spirit into everything that we do, infused into the human life, infused into our form, our communication, our insight, our seeing, our knowledge. And so this is what I see as the psychic senses. This is how we integrate it. We are an integrated divine being, multidimensional being, living, breathing, walking. It's the way that we make every decision we make, through integration of that presence of our holiness, our own divine essence, which is the isness. I don't have words for that. But essentially, I'm still trying to do that. I'm still trying to teach in one pathway And there are a million other pathways, and those pathways may be more relevant for you. You don't have to find it. Like, it's not like psychic development is everybody's way there, but it's some. And so I'm offering that as a bridge there. This is so my heart. Like, I can just feel it when I talk about this. Like, this is my freaking heart. So, and it's a heart really that just, it's just wanting freedom, liberation, peace, love, harmony, a glory-filled life, like luminous light, like living out what you are so capable of. And I feel like so much of us just have a black cloak over us, and we are living in this like density, this weight. We don't have to. And so much of that is, for me, remembering who you are. You can get there a million different ways, but this is just one way that I feel passionate about. I think the profound impact that it has on a soul to feel its own connection to source, and that source be an overflowing fountain there's no limitations. You're not limited to the physical form. You can connect to any dimension. You can see forward and backward in time. You can heal your physical body. All of these things that we think are absolutely miraculous are so not miraculous. They're innate. They are absolute. They are a truth in itself. They're just our own, this is what is. And we are so able to live in that. Man, I wish my words could wrap around it better. But I hope you can feel the energy in what I'm saying. In our own humanity, I have found as a teacher that we mentally can believe our own process and believe in our own growth and development and evolution when we view or perceive schematic, like stair-stepping building blocks of knowledge. And so that's what I try to provide with a flat sense of education or remembering or a program about it. Because our human mind that gets in the way so often of who we truly are and what we're truly capable of as soul, as consciousness, as beyond form, it adheres and aligns and begins to resonate with what we're doing. And when the mind gets in alignment and it believes, or it walks in faith, or it steps in resonant harmony, frequency-wise, when it lines up, and this is when we have that sensation, that feeling, or that mental lock of like, I know it. It is absolutely freaking true. There's nothing, like, it is rock solid. Like, I saw it, I lived it, I felt it, I was it. That's it. When we have that sync, the mind is in alignment, the body is in alignment, the soul is vibrating out that frequency. It's so much easier to align to the power within all that we're capable of. And so when I teach this, the reason I feel like it's important for humanity is because it's an easy link. It's a schematic step-by-step of walking the mind into a believable pattern of seeing, of confirming, of being able to view something. I say remote viewing, being able to remote travel, see it, experience it, and then confirm it. Or mediumship, being able to connect with someone who's passed away or an entity that gives you information, share it with someone else, and they can confirm it for you. This is for the mind. Our spirit does not need that. We don't need it, absolutely not. But our mind likes to feel resonant when it can link up with essentially like a computerized system of A plus B equals C. We get the schematics in order and it aligns more. And then we are able to feel more power in the resonance of our frequency. And essentially, as our humanness, able to embody more of our spirit. So this is the evolution of the human experience on this planet. Holding more and more of our own energy inside the form. And when our form is dense and heavy, we can't hold all of what we are. And so essentially we meditate, we do all of these experiences that essentially bring us into more of our entirety, more of who we truly are. They move us into those moments and we get the glimpses of it. But the integration of the fullness of our own energy is kind of haphazard. We don't have that full sense of truly being able to integrate it. So for me, this is what psychic development is about. It just gives us a schematic reference of how to get there. It doesn't, again, it's not for everybody, and that is a wisdom in itself. If you are more drawn to physics, quantum mechanics, teaching, literature, art, it doesn't matter. Pick a way. Spirit's infused in everything because everything is energy before it's formed. So anywhere you look at a flower and you could literally have enlightenment from that sense of connection and consciousness and awakening from that. So, it doesn't matter. If you're willing to go deep enough, any avenue will take you there. I don't know if that's a mixed message for what I do, but the heart is still the same. My heart is pure about it. And really, my heart's always been the same. As a soul on this earth, just wanting to be of use in the highest way possible. So that's looked different in the different avenues that I've walked, right? Different careers that I've had, different titles I was given, different roles. Some people know me more, as the mom that helps out with the football league or whatever. But they don't know anything about what I do as a shaman, and that doesn't matter. I pray that my impact is just as strong. That essentially I am transparent as a soul. That's my prayer. So I hope that answered your question. We'll be back here next week with another video. Blessings, you guys. Much love. Sincerely.